Energy Star Portfolio Manager Overview. My name is Salim Khan, and today joining me will be Chris Pettit. We are with Texas Energy Engineering Services, and today is the 27th of July, 2017. Me and Chris are going to be tag teaming on this presentation. SECO Facilities and Infrastructure Energy Management Webinar Series. This is today's webinar is part of that series. The items that you see that are shaded, which is indoor, outdoor lighting retrofit and energy accounting and benchmarking. These presentations or webinars have already happened. Today's webinar is Energy Star Portfolio Manager Overview, and in the coming days we'll be going over preliminary energy assessment overview and then energy efficiency consideration for water and wastewater systems. So just to give you an overview of what has happened, what is happening today, and what is to come. Well, on behalf of State Energy Conservation Office, I'd like to welcome everyone and thank you for your commitment to energy management. This webinar is part of SECO Schools and Local Government Energy Program. A couple of housekeeping items I'd like to go over. We will have video recording and a PDF of the presentation, and it will be provided. I believe the PDF is provided pretty soon, but the video recording might take a day or two. In the webinar, as the presentation is going on, we will have a couple of locations where we will be polling, so you can go and participate and provide your input. And also, just for the sake of keeping the program within the timelines, if you have any questions, we will be answering them at the end of the presentation. We'll be allocating a little bit time for that, and if we can get to it, you'll be assured that we'll be getting back with you and answering your questions, if not today, then soon thereafter. So a couple of housekeeping items. Oh, so we already have the first poll question. The question is, how familiar are you with Energy Star Portfolio Manager? So we will open the poll pretty soon and then give you some time to answer, and we have the answers. 7% said I've never used it. 29% said I've heard of it, but I've never used it. 29% said I have an account, but I don't really use it. 21% say I use it occasionally, and 14% say I use it all the time. So some good information to have. The question was, how familiar are you with Energy Star Portfolio Manager? A quick overview. Today's webinar, I'll do a recap of what we covered in the previous presentation, basically. Then we will be going over the Energy Star Portfolio Manager overview with a live demonstration of bulk upload, and then in the end we will have a little bit of time frame for discussions or questions. So this is the overview of today's webinar. Oh, we have another poll question. For which aspects do you use Energy Star Portfolio Manager? Mark all that apply. So the poll question is, for which aspects do you use Energy Star Portfolio Manager? Mark all that apply. And we'll be opening the poll, giving you a little bit of time to answer the poll, and then we'll close the poll and I'll announce the results. So here are the results for the question that was posed was, for which aspects do you use Energy Star Portfolio Manager? Mark all that apply. So 29% said, I've already told you I don't use Portfolio Manager. 29% said property details, square footage, etc. 50% said energy and or water consumption tracking. 42% said calculating energy performance indices, EUI, ECI, etc. 28% said we use it for Energy Star certification, basically. Good information to have. So what I like to do is just quickly go over two very important indices that are used in the energy tracking and benchmarking. The first one is Energy Utilization Index, and we went over this in the previous presentation, webinar, basically, but I like to just go and repeat this over here, which is the annual energy use per square foot. It is also in kBTUs per square foot per year, and the kBTUs per square foot per year. The question that I'm normally asked, why do we have a K with it? So to explain that, best to put it on the screen. You see that if you have a facility that has an EUI of 68,000 BTUs per square foot per year, it is going to be the same if I write this information and say 68 kBTUs per square foot per year. So the reason that they have put K over there that represent 1,000, you know, so it's easy to relate to if it's on a scale of from 0 to 100, as opposed to if we are talking in thousands, basically. So on the right-hand side, you will see just an output, basically, that says an EUI of building A, B, C, and D, and on the y-axis is building types, on the x-axis the EUI for different facilities. This is just an example. The other important index is Energy Cost Index, which is the annual energy cost per square foot, which is dollars per square foot per year. And on the right-hand side, you see the ECI for different facilities that was calculated for the sample facilities, basically. So both EUI and ECIs are very important, and they are used for benchmarking and tracking your energy use. And if you can be comparing them from one year to next year, it is good to have the baseline developed and the EUI, ECI is developed. What is a portfolio manager? Developed by EPA and DOE as part of the Energy Star program. It's an online energy and water tracking tool, basically. So you could be inputting your energy and water data in it, and you can track it basically going forward. We continue with what is a portfolio manager. It compares to national database of building of similar type, climate and usage, etc. It gives you a score, so it's a benchmark score of 1, which is the lowest performing, to 100, highest performing. Also, scores above 75 may be eligible for Energy Star building label or certifications. Important thing to keep in mind is that not all building types are eligible for Energy Star score, and if you click on that link, you'll find out if what type of buildings are eligible for Energy Star score. The EUI and ECI calculated for all building types. Even though you may not be able to certify or have a score for it, but you can still input the data for any type of buildings you might have and use it as a tracking tool. So that's an important thing to keep in mind. The other thing is the score of 1 to 100. You know, 1 is being the lowest and 100 being the highest. So I believe down the line we have a poll question in this regard. Getting started. So one of the things that you need to make sure is that you need to set up teams and assign roles. It needs time and resources, so something that you need to be aware of if you're going to be undertaking this project, then you need to allocate time and resources. You establish contacts, very important. Where do you get this information from? For example, the utility account representative is a good source. Also, some people might have accounting and financing department that you can go and get the utility information from them, because those are typically the one that who are writing checks to the service providers. So again, establishing contacts is very important, and that may facilitate your overall data gathering process. So gather all utility accounts and facilities informations, electric, natural gas, propane, water, set up data recording frequency, and reduce double entry and help streamline the procedure. So I think it's very important is that you establish your data recording frequency, that how often you're going to put monthly, quarterly, or semi-annually you're going to input the data, and also look at the overall process to make sure that we are not doing double entry. And what is meant by that is that if somebody else is keeping a spreadsheet, you may want to get that electronic spreadsheet and try to find a way to streamline it so that you can upload it to the Energy Star Portfolio Manager without doing double entries. And so at this moment, what I like to do is that I'm going to have Chris take over to go into the nitty-gritty of Energy Star Portfolio Manager. Again, something I want to point out is that primarily today's webinar is to give you an overview. Typically takes 2 or 3 sessions to specific to your facility to try to get more out of a webinar like this on the Energy Star Portfolio Manager. So with this, I hand it over to Chris. Thank you.
All right, hello everybody. This is Chris Pettit. Thank you, Salim. I'm going to be taking it from here, talking about the Portfolio Manager. And first, we'll start out with the Portfolio Manager structure. You can see here that this is for the whole portfolio is like your whole account. So you'd probably have just one account for the school district or one for your city or county or something like that. And then in Portfolio Manager, you have the ability to break it up into different groups. So if you want to group all of your public works facilities or all your wastewater treatment plants into one group so you can easily find them, or if you want to break them up into different groups for elementary schools and middle schools or something like that. This isn't required, but it's just a feature to help organize all your facilities. Then below that we have the properties. So you'll have each property will have its own page. So you'll create each property individually. You see here building A, building B, etc. And then each property will have its own usage details, energy and water meters, and you can set different goals for each property. And I will go through and show you what that looks like on Portfolio Manager. But first I will show you creating an account. It's pretty simple. You just go to this link here and then just follow the setup prompts. One note here is that the sharing options. So if you want to be able to share your properties with other people within your organization or other people that might be helping you out uploading data or something like that, you need to make sure that you mark yes for searchability as you're setting up the account. Okay, so this is the MyPortfolio homepage. When you sign into Portfolio Manager, this is where it brings you. You can see here this would be your groups here, and this will be a list of all of your properties down here. So you could click on each of these separately and open up those properties. When you're just getting started, here's where you would click to start adding a property, adding your first property. They also have added the button over here. Up at the top, you'll see your notifications with the number of notifications you have there. This is like if you've anytime you apply for Energy Star certification, it'll let you know that they've received your application or have been approved, or if you've connected with someone or shared the property with someone, it'll let you know all of that up here. So now I'm going to pretend as if I were to click on this Building A here to go to the Building A property page. So when I do that, it brings me to the Building A page. Right here we have the Energy Star score that Salim was talking about, and then if it isn't eligible for the Energy Star score due to the facility size or property type, something like that, you'll just see the EUI here, the Energy Utilization Index that Salim also mentioned. It'll still be listed here, and then it'll compare your baseline EUI with your current EUI, something like that. You see all these tabs here are the property info, so you can go in and change the details for the property details or the energy meters or the water meters. And here's where you would go select goals. And I'll go into greater detail for each of these as we go on throughout the presentation. But here on the home, this building homepage right here, the summary page, excuse me, there's some basic information here. So it shows the baseline Energy Star score right here is 75, and then the current year is actually the same timeline, but you'd be able to easily compare different timelines if you have your baseline set up and then whatever currently your score is versus, also they have the site EUI, which is what you'd be calculating as Celine showed you earlier. So that would be right here. So this looks like 46 is what the EUI was here. So just some basic information there. So next I'm going to click on this property details for building A, and it'll take me to some of the information that it asks for. So here's what it looks like. You see this tab is the one that's highlighted. Here you can go edit basic information like your address or square footage, things like that. Over here are some other, I guess, different uses that it asks about, like your weekly operating hours, square footage, and it needs to match the square footage over here, and it'll give you a big warning if it doesn't. Ask for number of workers, etc. So when you want to change information, so there's two different things that you need to think about. If you want to correct mistakes, like you realize that one of these is wrong, you go click the drop down here for the action item and you click correct mistakes. That'll go back all the way the whole time the property's been I guess being updated, that it'll update that value all the way back. If you want to update with new information, let's say you added onto square footage to this facility, you would click update with new information. We added 10,000 square feet or so, and this is the date that we added it. That way it kind of does the baseline in different, it'll update it differently as you go update new information. Okay, so go into a little bit more detail about kind of property details that Portfolio Manager asks for when you're setting up a property. So this is what you would see. This looks like it's for a school. Each building type has different property use details that it asks for. So this one being for a school, it asks if it's a high school. It asks the gymnasium floor area, which it probably won't ask for other facilities. Anything with a star next to it, that detail is used to calculate the 1 to 100 Energy Star score. So that you would need to put in the actual value for those to be eligible for the Energy Star certification or to get an accurate Energy Star score. For some of these, you can, if you don't know the answer, you can click Use as Default. It bases it on a national average, but the real values will give you the more accurate score, like I said, and then also the real values are required for awards and certification, things like that. So number of computers, you would need to have an actual computer count there. But in the meantime, if you don't have it right away, you can just click this checkbox, Use as Default, and correct mistakes later, which I showed you in the last slide. Okay, next one, so if you look, you know, we first saw the summary tab, then we saw the details. Now I'm on the meters tab. This would be for the energy here. We've got the different meters here. It looks like we have 2 electric meters at this facility, 1, 2 right here, and then we've got a natural gas meter right here. So this was already set up. When you create a property, you're going to need to go add the meters, and right here is where you would click this blue button right here. And then it'll prompt you and ask you a few things as you go through. These 2 right here are used to associate the meters or the accounts. So it asks you if the meter's still in use. So maybe you've gotten rid of a meter or something like that. You can go tell it, we stopped using this meter on such and such date, and then it'll continue on with the remaining meter or something like that. So when you're setting up a meter, if you were to click on this button, it'll kind of walk you through a prompt of creating the meter. So here on the left is the first thing you would see. What kind of meters do you want to track? So I want to create an electric meter. I just want to create one here. Natural gas, just have one. And then even if you have district chilled water, so you can, if you have that metered, you can even go add that kind of meter. So there's all sorts of different types of meters here. And then it's really important to pay attention to your units. So the units on your bill, you can see here, might not match your units in Portfolio Manager. They've used kind of a different naming convention. On your bill, you'll probably see either CCF or MCF. So if it's CCF, it looks like that matches. It's right there, 100 cubic feet. But if it's MCF, you're actually going to want to click on KCF here. That's 1,000 cubic feet. For some reason, they've used KCF, and then they reserved MCF for 1,000,000 cubic feet. So just pay close attention, especially with natural gas. I think electricity is, the electric meter is pretty straightforward, but just pay attention to that. Okay, so once you've created your meters, this is kind of like if you were looking at one meter, what information would you see here? So here's the existing entries right here. So just imagine these had already been in there. You can click on the cell to update any old data. Got start date, end date, the usage and kWh, and then the cost. And you can filter the date range if you want to do just see all 2015 or all 2016 or all years or whatever. So if I wanted to add just 1 month to this 1 meter, I could do that by just clicking this add another entry, and it'll pop up with a blank row here and ask me to fill in the cells. Okay, so that's where you add a single entry. Let's say for this 1 meter, if I want to add 12 months just to this meter, or 3 months, or more than one at a time, you can use this down here which says bulk upload via spreadsheet template. It actually says, yeah, spreadsheet template. So this will let you download a spreadsheet. You can fill out more months and then save it on your desktop and then choose file and upload it, and you can populate this for like a year at a time, but only for this 1 meter. So if you have a lot of facilities, you might be interested in doing a different kind of bulk upload, which I'll show you in a live demonstration at the end. Okay, so I think that covers the meters. We'll go into establishing the goals here. So this is back on the main property tab. You know, you have summaries, details, energy. Now we're going to go focus on goals here. So you can set your baselines here, you can set your target, and the target goals can be different things. You can set a target Energy Star score, so maybe you really want to try to get certified, so you're going to try to shoot for that 75 that's required for the certification. Or maybe you want to choose like a % improvement, so we want to save 5% of our energy or something like that, and it will tell you what you need to do to get to that point down here. So I'll go through this with you. So if you want to update the goals, you'd click down there, and then it'll walk you through this as well. So it wants you to set your baseline energy consumption, or you can let it set it automatically. It'll just pick probably the first 12 months that you have uploaded data for. Or if you want to use a different baseline year, that's fine. You would just go change that here. You must have 12 full calendar months and property use information to establish the baseline. So if you don't have 12 full months, it's not going to be able to do that for you. You'll need to wait till you have 12 months history in there. And a lot of times you'll just upload, you know, you can always go back in time and upload those the 12 months before or something like that to be able to start with a baseline. So down here is where you choose the target metric. Like I talked about, this example has target Energy Star score selected. So what's my target value? Well, I want to try to get to a 75. So you just type that in there and click save, and it'll populate that table we saw on the last slide. It'll just populate all this target information for you. So you can see here, since my target was a 75, right now my EUI was a 77.4. Well, to get to my target, I'm going to need to drop that UI down to 52.3. I'm going to need to save about $33,000 or something like that in electricity costs or energy costs. Right here, you can see that. So it'll show you what you need to do to achieve that. Okay, so let's go back. All right, looks like we have a poll question. So the question is, have you used the bulk upload function on Portfolio Manager? All right, I'll give you all a second to fill that out. All right, it looks like the results are in. Okay, so 23% don't use Portfolio Manager. All right, no, 31% do not use it, and they're not sure what it is. So we'll go over that here really soon. 8% said it seemed too hard, which is understandable, but hopefully after this we can we'll all be able to do it. 23% said it went horribly wrong. So again, we'll go over this and hopefully everyone feels more comfortable. And 15% say yes, it went great. That's really good. So here we go. Bulk upload. We'll go through this. Like I said, hope everyone feels comfortable after we get through this. Right here we have from the MyPortfolio page. So this is the very first slide I showed y'all when you're at the home page for your portfolio. On the left, you will see it's upload and or update multiple properties. So you're going to click on that link. This will allow you to upload a bunch of meters or a bunch of bills or a bunch of facilities or something of that nature. So we'll go ahead and click on that link and it'll take you through here to this page. So when you're looking here, this is your uploads. This is kind of the status of your bulk uploads. So it looks like it'll tell you if it was a success, or it'll tell you if it's processing, or it'll tell you if it's failed. If it fails, it will tell you exactly where you went wrong in your spreadsheets, because this is going to download in a spreadsheet template, and you're going to fill it in. You're going to upload a bunch of pieces of information at one time. So it'll tell you, there's an error in E12, and you can go fix it on your spreadsheet. So it's pretty good at helping with that. Just a quick warning, this is a powerful feature. You saw some people say it went horribly wrong, but so there's no real easy undo. So it might fail and it won't upload the wrong data, and that's good, fail safe. But if you type it wrong for all of them, you can't easily undo. You'll have to go manually delete those. So you want to just double check your spreadsheet when you're doing it, and everything should be all right. So down here is where you want to create your upload template. So if you want to add meters or bills, and I'll show you what that's like in just a second. I forgot to mention, here's the add properties template. So if you just want to add, if you have a bunch of facilities, you want to add them all at once, this is where you'll do the add properties template. It has its own special link right here. For everything else, meters, bills, things like that, you're going to click here. So I'm going to walk you through this as if you were to click this blue button. All right, so here's what it kind of takes you one step through steps 1, 2, 3. Select the task you were performing here. So what we want to do for this example is we want to add bills to existing meters. Okay, and then it says select properties to include, and I want to do all the properties in a group because I've created groups, or you could just say all of my properties, or you could just choose a few just manually, or you can do a single property, however you want to do it. But I'm going to do it for a group, and this is my group, and then detailed information to include. So I want to upload electricity information and natural gas consumption, all that for all of these facilities in this group. And then right here it has a 1 as default. It says select which meter types and how many new entries. So this is how many new entries, which is usually like about how many billing cycles. So if you want to add 12 months history for every facility and every meter, then you're going to come here and type in 12 here and 12 there, and that'll allow you to upload an entire year's worth of history for each meter. After you fill that out, you're going to click this Create Here and Download Template, and it will download a spreadsheet for you. So click that. Okay, so this is a screenshot of the Excel template. It will show you each of the accounts listed with their names as given in Portfolio Manager. On the left here, it'll tell you the meter type. So all of the electricity meters are on one Excel sheet, and then the next Excel sheet will have like the natural gas, and then the next Excel sheet would have water if you selected that as well. So it separates them by different meter types. This is really helpful. So it shows you the last entry on each account for reference. So you see here, it looks like the last time I updated this was November 2014. This was the consumption, this was the cost, and it's grayed out. So anything grayed out doesn't require your entry. It won't let you change those usually anyway. So you just want to fill in anywhere where there's white cells right here. So basically this last entry will help you from accidentally typing in information that was already there, things like that. So you can just easily pick up where you need to be. The template sheet contains instruction tab and pop-up tips for most inputs. So just clicking on a cell, will show you, okay, the start date wants you to put it in either format. For the usage, when you click on that, it will tell you don't use any commas or decimals or anything like that. Just type the usage exactly as you see it. For the costs, similarly, it will say do not use $signs, commas, or anything like that. So anything you're unsure about, just hovering over, clicking it'll kind of give you some help as you go through this. So for this example, it looks like there was 6 months. So if you were updating 6 months history, which I'll show you soon, I'll do that in real time here. But so this would be for 6 months, and you'd come fill out this for all of the meters. And once you filled out all the way, you'd want to save it, and then I'll show you what it's like when you're uploading it.
So we're going to imagine that we had filled out this whole thing. It took us a while, but we did it, filled it all out, and then now we're ready to upload it again. So here we are back at the Portfolio Manager, and we have our Excel spreadsheet saved on our desktop somewhere. We know where it is, and we're going to come down here to select the template type. So we already created the template, but here we want to upload all that data from the spreadsheet into the into Portfolio Manager. So you're going to go right here and select the template type. So for instance, this one's going to be add bills to existing meters. Then you're going to browse for your populated file, and then you're going to upload it. And then that will be right here. And then right up here, like I mentioned earlier, it will tell you the status. It will normally be blue and say processing for a little bit. If it stays there, just refresh the page, and then it'll tell you success or failed. If it fails, it will tell you exactly which cell is wrong or why it didn't accept it. So maybe you forgot to type something in somewhere, like for estimation or things like that. So then you can just try again, go open that up, edit the spreadsheet, save it again, and run through the same process. Okay, just real quick, before we get into the live demonstration of the bulk upload, this is back, on the home page. Normally you see the MyPortfolio sharing, that's where you connect with people. This reporting will allow you to generate pretty detailed reports. So I just wanted to touch on that. You can select a lot of different things here, but to do that you click reporting and then create a new template. And here you can, like you see, up to 50 metrics can be selected, and it's got all sorts of different metrics if you want to compare these facilities. One, some, or all facilities can be included, and then you can save the template. So let's say you want to generate this template every month or something like that. You can save it and then regenerate each month. So you don't have to go click the 50 metrics you wanted every time. One other quick mention is the statement of energy performance. This is used for the Energy Star certification and for LEED for existing building. It's a prerequisite. So both require the Energy Star score of 75. Like we said, you need to have all that facility and property info correct in there. Goes through a pretty scrutinious process to make sure that's all correct. Then you need to have current utility data within 120 days of your submit date. Otherwise, they'll say your utility data is too outdated. Please update it, and you might be eligible again. This does usually require on-site confirmation for the Energy Star certification, just to verify the space use data. Like, is this really an office space, or is it really the warehouse? Like you saw those building types earlier. Make sure everything's in compliance with the lighting and ventilation codes. This does require the verification by a licensed professional. Some different programs, like the SECO Schools and Energy program, can also help with that. There's other places you can also get a professional engineer to do that. Okay, now we're going to do the live demonstration here. So let's click on, let me open that up real quick. Okay, so this should look familiar now. I've seen it a few times. This is the MyPortfolio page. Here's where I've got all the different buildings right here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you exactly what we just did. But first, let me just click on a building to show you that kind of how everything works. So I just opened it in a new tab here. So it looks like our current score at this mock facility is a 66. You can click here and get all the details. Look at the, these are things we went over just a second ago. Just wanted to show you how pretty seamless it is to click through the website. This just has an electric meter right here. If you had natural gas, it will also show the natural gas history as well. This converts it into kBTUs, just to give, that's like when we talked about kBTUs for EUI. It's a way to add all of the energy consumption together. Okay, so I'm going to go here and do the upload and or update multiple properties. Alright, like I said, here's where you would add a lot of properties if you want to, or you want to create an upload template. My goal today is to show you how to upload a bunch of bills at once. So I click on that. Step by step, I want to add bills. Number of properties. I want to do all the properties in a group, and that group is the ABC sample group that we've been using today. Detailed information. Well, I happen to have all my bills here in front of me. I want to do 6 months for electric, 6 months for natural gas, and 6 months for water consumption. Once I've got all this, double check, make sure it looks good, I'm going to create and download template. So when you click that, it will download a blank template to your desktop. So I'm just going to open it here, and here's what it comes up with. So this is Excel, of course. You've got instructions here. So like I said, they're very good about helping you walk through this step by step. I'm just going to show you what you saw earlier. So this is the spreadsheet where I'm going to be actually typing the information. So like I said, here's my last bill at this facility. The facility name is right here, and the meter is right here. So you can name the meters, your actual meter number if you want. But this is a real quick way to see. These are both building C right here, but this is my big electric account, and this is my little electric account. So that's another way you can just tell really easily which account goes to which. And so I would then go in and type in all of my information here for start date. Oops, start date here, end date for the billing, and then come over here. put in my consumption and my cost, and then this is estimation. So in order for certification, you can't use estimated. You need to make that a no because you're getting it from a bill. So let's just imagine that I went through and typed that up real quick and filled it in, and it looks like this. So that I had done this before we got here, so that would have taken a while, but here's all my consumption and my cost for electricity all the way down, bills for non-electric. Oh yeah, one other thing. So you can see here it has the units. So that's important to make sure you're using the same units. So just double check your billing, make sure it matches up every month. You never know, maybe that has changed or something like that. So this one's in CCF, this one's in KCF. And then water's over here filled in. So I have that ready to go, and I'm going to browse. And so I have it really nested in here. Energy Star. So here's where I saved it, way down here. Okay, I'm going to add bills to meters, July 2016 through December 2016. So I had already uploaded, did a test 6 months earlier. So I'm going to open that, and then I'm going to select my type of upload, add bills to existing meters, and then I'm going to click upload, and it should tell me that it's processing right here. So give it one quick second. Okay, there we go. So it changed to success. So no issues there. Just uploaded, you saw 5 buildings, a bunch of meters, all at the same time. Now let's just double check it, go back in there, open up this building A, and now you see the score is 75. So energy tab, we can open up that electric meter and double check that the most recent updated cell is, I said earlier I did July through December, and there it is right here. So it was from a data import, tells me, and it was all uploaded successfully, and then now I have a full year's data for this facility. And now I can compare, like I showed you earlier, I can compare to my baseline and things like that. So, all right, so that is how you do the bulk upload. Let me switch back over here. Okay. All right, one final thing I wanted to talk about was that there are extensive training materials available on the website. So there's plenty of things to help you go along the way. Like I showed you, when you're hovering over things, I can show you that again if you want. You just hover over it, it tells you exactly what it means by that definition, what it's asking for. There's also a bunch of help and glossary dialogues available in almost every screen on Portfolio Manager. And some of the advantages, like we have been talking about, is the utility tracking, benchmarking. It does all your EUI, ECI calculations for you, assuming your facility data is inputted correctly. Setting goals, it kind of helps you visualize those goals as well with that. You can see that in the reporting or in the goals tab that we showed earlier. Energy Star certification, lead prerequisite, and obviously a valuable planning tool if you're using this frequently. Looks like we have probably just one more poll question, which we'll go ahead and put up there. The question here is, if building A has an Energy Star score of 100, are there still energy savings opportunities? So we'll throw that up there real quick. If y'all just answer that, whatever you think is the right answer. And I will hand this back over to Salim as soon as this poll closes, and if y'all have any questions, feel free to start typing those out, and we'll try to get to that with the next 10 minutes or so.
All right, this is Salim again. So it looks like that's good news. 71% of you said yes, even if my score is 100. That means there could still be opportunities. 6% said no, and 24% I don't know. So just want to make sure that everyone understands that the score is something relative. There are always opportunities to save energy, but what the Energy Star Portfolio Manager will do, it will give you an idea where you should be putting your focus on which building and so on and so forth. So that the correct answer is that even if your score of 100, you potentially still have opportunity to save energy. Okay, and I think we're going to go into if there are any questions, basically. But what I wanted to do was just quickly let you all know that if you all have, we went pretty fast on some of this stuff, basically, and you might have follow-up questions later on. You'll feel free to contact us, so we'll be able to help you the best we can. This is part of a SECO schools and local government program, so a lot of people have asked for technical assistance on this. We've been able to provide that. We do one-on-one training on this also, and what I have seen is that usually it takes maybe 1 or 2 or maximum of 3 one-hour sessions in which we've been able to train people who have not been familiar with this. So the SECO schools and local government program actually, if you ask for that assistance, it will make that happen, basically. So I think with this we are nearing the end of the presentation, and I hope you all enjoyed it, and we will look forward to seeing you. I'm going to take a quick glance to see if there are any specific questions. I don't see any specific questions over here, so with that, I think what we'll do is we'll close this session out, and then, as I said, you all will be getting the PDF of this presentation, and you should also be getting the video of the presentation also. It might take a day or so to get them ready and get them going. So with this, I think it's thank you for attending this from me and Chris, and we hope to help you in the future. Thank you.